Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the news tonight on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Rausen Pereira. And before we start with the headlines, let's make an appeal to all our viewers. Remember to wear a face mask and wash your hands and face regularly and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. These simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. And now, time for the headlines. All MPs to be tested for COVID-19 ahead of the budget session of Parliament. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla says food subsidy at Parliament canteens discontinued completely. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu underscores need to prevent agro brain drain, calls for measures to inspire educated youth to take up farming as a profession. Prime Minister Modi to release 2,691 crore rupees for Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Grameen tomorrow. More than 6 lakh beneficiaries from Uttar Pradesh to benefit. Over 6,31,000 people vaccinated against COVID-19 across the country. Health Ministry allays fears over reports of adverse effects from vaccines. India to supply vaccines to friendly countries from tomorrow. Team India registered historic win in Brisbane Test match. End 32-year-long invincible streak of hosts Australia at the Gabba Stadium. Retain Border Gavaskar Trophy for a third time in a row with a 2-1 series win. All MPs will have to undergo COVID-19 tests before the start of the budget session later this month. This was informed by the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla at a press meet ahead of the Parliament session. He said all arrangements have also been made for RT-PCR COVID-19 tests of MPs near their residence. In Parliament premises, the RT-PCR tests will be conducted on January 27th and 28th. Arrangements have also been made for these tests of families and staff members of MPs. While Rajya Sabha will sit from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., Lok Sabha will function in the second half from 4 to 8 p.m. The question hour will be allowed during the session for an already fixed time of 1 hour.
सभी माननीय सदस्यों से आग्रह किया गया है कि वह कोविड गाइडलाइन की पालना के तहत संपूर्ण RT-PCR टेस्ट भी कराने की हमने व्यवस्था की गई है। जहां पर माननीय संसद सदस्य रहते हैं उनके घर के नज़दीक भी RT-PCR और अन्य टेस्ट की व्यवस्था की गई है ताकि वह ठीक से सुरक्षित तरीके से अपने सदन की कार्रवाई में हिस्सा ले सके।
Birla also informed that the subsidy on Parliament's canteen food served to members of Parliament and others has been stopped. The Parliament canteens will now be run by the India Tourism Development Corporation in place of Northern Railways. Well, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has called for measures to prevent agro brain drain and attract educated youth to take up farming as a profession. Speaking at the inauguration of the National Dialogue on Indian Agriculture organized by Niti Aayog, the Vice President said that the future of Indian agriculture lies in the hands of technology-driven farming practices powered by well-informed and modern-minded farmers. He called for establishing strong lab-farm links and farmer-industry interaction to turn the farmers into agri-entrepreneurs.
Increasing agri-input costs and diminishing returns have turned agriculture into a less preferred profession among the youth. We need to reverse this trend and we need to focus our attention. How can we do it? I have no doubt that the future of Indian agriculture lies in the hands of technology-driven farming practices, powered by well-informed and modern-minded farmers. There are scores of highly successful farmers who have been an inspiration for their communities through their innovative use of modern agriculture techniques. To turn the farmers into agri-entrepreneurs.
He listed food security, sustainability of natural resources, climate change and ensuring secure future of the farmers as the 4 important challenges faced by Indian agriculture and urged the policymakers to pay special attention to the farming community.
Further aim to raise it to 330 million tons by 2024. So welfare of these producers, welfare of our farmers is at the core of all agricultural policies and programs formed by the government. And the Prime Minister is taking keen interest to see that the agriculture becomes more viable and also to see that the farmers' income is doubled. Now, it's high time we must reduce chemical farming and focus more and more on organic farming in a big way, not only for the wealth of the nation, but also for the health of the nation. This has to be understood. This is pertinent that our organic food segment in India is expected to grow at 10% during 15-25 and estimated to reach rupees 75,000 crores by 2025. It bears no repetition that organic farming is beneficial for all the farmers, the consumers and the environment.
Well, the next round of talks between the centre and the representatives of farmer unions, which was earlier scheduled for Tuesday, will now be held on Wednesday. In a statement issued on Monday night, the Agriculture Ministry confirmed the new schedule and reiterated centre's commitment to resolve issues of the farmers. Meanwhile, the first meeting of the Supreme Court appointed panel on the new farm laws was held on Tuesday. The panel members held a meeting to decide the future course of action. The committee will hold its first round of talks with farmers and other stakeholders on January 21st. The Apex Court had on 11th January stayed the implementation of the 3 farm laws against which the farmer unions are protesting at the borders of the national capital. It had also appointed a 4-member panel to resolve the issue. Well, moving on now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will release financial assistance of around 2,691 crore rupees to over 6.1 lakh beneficiaries in Uttar Pradesh under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Grameen on Wednesday. The assistance will include release of the first installment of 5,30,000 beneficiaries and second installment to 80,000 beneficiaries who have already availed the first installment of assistance under the scheme. The Prime Minister gave the clarion call of Housing for All by 2022, for which a flagship program of PMAYG was launched on the 20th of November 2016. So far, 1 crore 26 lakh houses have already been built across the country under the scheme. Meanwhile, Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Tuesday asked the Delhi Police to set 5 targets for each police station for its improvement and better performance by 2022. At an event organized at the Delhi Police headquarters in New Delhi, the Home Minister Amit Shah praised the role of the Delhi Police during the coronavirus pandemic. Shah also said that the police force tackled the Northeast Delhi riots last year and brought back peace to the city.
दो 2020 का साल पूरी दुनिया के लिए अनेक चुनौतियां लेकर आया, भारत के लिए भी लाया और दिल्ली के क्षेत्र के लिए भी लाया। मगर मुझे कहते हुए बहुत संतोष और गर्व दोनों हो रहा है कि चुनौतीपूर्ण वर्ष में दिल्ली पुलिस अपनी सभी परीक्षाएं जितनी भी ईश्वर ने भेजी, इसमें सर्वोत्तम गुण के साथ उत्तीर्ण होकर जनता के साथ खड़ी है।
Well, the Home Minister also honored some police personnel and paid tributes to those who lost their lives while discharging duties during the pandemic. He also chaired a meeting with senior police officers to review security arrangements for Republic Day celebrations. Amit Shah announced that 15,000 CCTV cameras will be installed in Delhi for close monitoring of crime and criminals. Shah stated that a memorandum of understanding has been signed by the Delhi Police with the National Forensic Science University to seek assistance of forensic experts in enhancing the investigation capabilities of the police force.
और दिल्ली पुलिस के हर थाने ने अपने लक्ष्य तय करने चाहिए कि 2022 में हमारे थाने के अंदर कितने कितने बिंदुओं में क्या क्या सुधार करेंगे। इसी तरह से हर डीवाईएसपी ने भी अपने कार्य क्षेत्र के अंदर लक्ष्य सिद्ध करने चाहिए। डीवाईएसपी से मेरा मतलब व्यक्ति से नहीं है, ये तो बदलते रहते हैं, मगर इंस्टीट्यूशन से, ऑफिस से है। एसपी भी करे, डीआईजी आईजी भी करे और दिल्ली पुलिस कमिश्नरेट भी करे। हर इंस्टीट्यूशन ने अपना लक्ष्य तय करना है कि हम किन किन क्षेत्रों के अंदर क्या क्या लक्ष्य सिद्ध करेंगे 2022 के पहले।
It's time for a short break now. I'll be back with more news and updates on the other side.
Watch The Big Picture at 9:30 p.m. only on Rajya Sabha Television.
Defeat coronavirus. Let us always remember, wear a mask. Wash hands. Follow physical distancing. Together, we'll succeed. Together, we'll win against COVID-19.
हमारा आज का सवाल था कि किस अधिनियम ने AAI यानी एयरपोर्ट अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया और निजी क्षेत्र के संबंधों को औपचारिक जामा पहनाया। आपके विकल्प हैं ए भारतीय विमानपत्तन प्राधिकरण संशोधन अधिनियम सन 2003, बी भारतीय विमानपत्तन आर्थिक नियामक प्राधिकरण संशोधन अधिनियम सन 2019, सी भारतीय विमानपत्तन प्राधिकरण अधिनियम 1994 या डी इनमें से कोई नहीं। और सही जवाब है ए भारतीय विमानपत्तन प्राधिकरण संशोधन अधिनियम सन 2003।
Watch Reset India tonight at 10 p.m. only on Rajya Sabha Television.
5 million subscribers. 1 million subscribers in less than 10 months. Over 17 million hours of content watched online. RSTV, one of the fastest growing YouTube channel. 5 million subscribers, the count is on.
Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight on Rajya Sabha Television. Well, over 6.31 lakh people have been vaccinated for COVID-19 across the country till Tuesday. Briefing the media, Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan said that over 1.77 lakh beneficiaries were inoculated across 3,800 session sites in the past 24 hours. In all, 11,660 vaccine sessions have been conducted in the country so far. Bhushan also informed that India has vaccinated the highest number of persons in the world on the first day of vaccination.
भारत में हमने पहले दिन 2,07,000 से ज़्यादा व्यक्तियों को कोविड के टीके लगाए। यूएसए में जब वैक्सीनेशन प्रारंभ हुआ तो 79,000 से ज़्यादा लोगों को डे 1 पर वैक्सीनेट किया गया। यूके में 19,700 और फ्रांस में 73। 3 राज्य ऐसे हैं जो अभी 2 ही दिन वैक्सीनेशन कर रहे हैं, गोवा, हिमाचल प्रदेश और उत्तर प्रदेश। हमने उनके साथ परामर्श किया है और हमने उन्हें ये सुझाव दिया है कि वो इसको बढ़ा सकते हैं। 4 राज्य और संघ शासित क्षेत्र हैं जो 3 दिन सप्ताह में वैक्सीनेशन कर रहे हैं। 26 राज्य और यूटीज़ हैं जो 4 दिन कर रहे हैं। मिजोरम एकमात्र ऐसा राज्य है जो 5 दिन कर रहा है। आंध्र प्रदेश और लक्षद्वीप 6 दिन कर रहे हैं। तो 2 राज्य 6 दिन कर रहे हैं।
Well, the Health Ministry also clarified that both the coronavirus vaccines used in the country are completely safe. Niti Aayog member V.K. Paul said that concerns about adverse events following immunization are unfounded and insignificant.
वहाँ सीरियस एडवर्स इवेंट टिपिकली 0.6% रिपोर्ट किए हैं, 0.6%। और अगर आपने अभी देखा तो 0.18 तो सारा AFI है, और उसमें सीरियस वाला तो ना के ही बराबर है। ये भी आपने देखा, वो 0.002 जिसके लिए अस्पताल जाना पड़ता है। तो कोई डाउट नहीं है कि जिन प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे ये 2 वैक्सीन बने हैं, आई थिंक दैट हैज़ बिकम वेरी क्लियर टू मी as well, in particular when you look back now, that these 2 platforms produce vaccines that are highly immunogenic, both for antibodies and T-cell, but also very safe.
Meanwhile, India recorded lowest daily new cases and deaths in over 7 months. 10,064 new cases and 137 fatalities were reported in the last 24 hours. The nationwide tally crossed 1 crore 5 lakh, while the total case fatalities stand at 1,52,556. India's total active caseload has dropped to 2 lakhs, accounting for less than 2% of the total positive cases, while the recovery rate has increased to 96.66%. The total number of people vaccinated in the country is more than double the number of active cases. Well, India on Tuesday announced to supply COVID-19 vaccines to 6 neighboring countries under grant assistance. The Ministry of External Affairs said India will supply vaccines to Bhutan, Maldives, Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar and Seychelles from Wednesday. It said that the vaccines will be supplied to partner countries over the coming weeks and months in a phased manner, keeping in view the domestic requirements. The ministry also informed that India is awaiting necessary regulatory clearances from Sri Lanka, Afghanistan and Mauritius for the supply of vaccines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that India is deeply honoured to be a long-trusted partner in meeting the healthcare needs of the global community. India has already rolled out a massive coronavirus vaccination drive under which 2 vaccines, Covishield and Covaxin, are being administered to health workers across the country. Meanwhile, Bharat Biotech on Tuesday issued a fact sheet specifying conditions for those who should not take Covaxin. The fact sheet on COVID-19 vaccine has advised pregnant or breastfeeding women, besides people with high fever or bleeding disorders, not to take the antidote. Well, moving on to some other news now, where 15 labourers hailing from Rajasthan were killed on Tuesday after a truck ran over them in Gujarat's Surat. The incident took place in Kosamba city. The truck ran over 18 people sleeping on a footpath, 12 of whom died on the spot, while 3 died later. President Ramnath Kovind offered his condolences to the families of the deceased and wished the injured quick recovery. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the loss of lives in Surat is tragic and his thoughts are with the bereaved families. He also announced to give an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each from the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund to the next of kin of the deceased, and 50,000 rupees each would be given to those injured. The Chief Minister of Gujarat, Vijay Rupani, also announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each to the next of kin of those who lost their lives in the accident. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot also said that he was deeply saddened to know about the incident. Gehlot also announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees to the family of the deceased and 50,000 rupees to the injured from the Chief Minister's Relief Fund. Well, the union government has announced that Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's birth anniversary on January 23rd will be observed as Parakram Divas every year from now on. The Culture Ministry said that the decision has been taken to honor and remember Netaji's indomitable spirit and selfless service to the nation. Culture Minister Prahlad Singh Patel said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the first Parakram Divas program in Kolkata's on January 23rd on Bose's 125th birth anniversary. Several other events will be held across the country to mark the occasion. The government has decided to celebrate the 125th birth anniversary year of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose beginning from this month at the national and international level. An 85-member high-level committee headed by Prime Minister Modi has been formed to plan year-round programs to mark the 125th birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose.
देश के भीतर और देश के बाहर भारत सरकार के कैलेंडर में अब 23 जनवरी पराक्रम दिवस के रूप में मनाई जाएगी। इस दृष्टि से 23 तारीख को माननीय प्रधानमंत्री कलकत्ता में इस 23 जनवरी को पराक्रम दिवस के आयोजन में शामिल होंगे। 23 तारीख को जो कार्यक्रमों की गतिविधियां हैं जो वर्ष भर चलने वाली हैं उसके लिए एक उच्च स्तरीय समिति आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में बनी है।
Well, on the occasion of National Disaster Response Force's 16th Raising Day on Tuesday, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu greeted NDRF personnel. In a Twitter message, the Vice President said NDRF personnel have always been at the forefront in helping and rescuing people affected by disasters. The nation is always grateful for their selfless service. The National Disaster Response Force Raising Day is celebrated on January 19 to mark its formation. This year, the NDRF observed its 16th NDRF Raising Day. The NDRF came into existence on January 19, 2006. The Specialized Task Force has been constituted for special response to a threatening disaster situation or a disaster. A renowned oncologist and chairperson of the Adyar Cancer Institute, Dr. V. Shanta, passed away on Tuesday at the age of 93. Dr. V. Shanta hailed from a family of Nobel laureates of Sir C.V. Raman and Subramaniam Chandrasekhar. She was the first pediatric oncologist in India. Duty exemption for cancer drugs, free travel for cancer patients in trains and buses, and making cancer a notifiable disease in Tamil Nadu were among her numerous achievements. She was the force behind the first cancer registry in India and pioneered in initiating the first screening program in India for cancer, besides establishing the first pediatric oncology unit at the Cancer Institute. President Ramnath Kovind expressed his grief at the demise of Padma Vibhushan Dr. V. Shanta. He remembered her as a savior of countless patients by making treatment accessible to the underprivileged. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu condoled her demise. He said that her contribution to cancer care in the country will always be remembered. Prime Minister Modi said that Dr. V. Shanta will be remembered for her outstanding efforts to ensure top-quality cancer care. He recalled his visit to the Cancer Institute at Adyar in 2018 and said that it was at the forefront of serving the poor and downtrodden. And some sports news now, where India made history by defeating Australia by 3 wickets in the fourth and final test at the Gabba in Brisbane on Tuesday. India successfully chased the target of 328 runs to seal the four-match series by a margin of 2-1 and retained the Border Gavaskar Trophy. This was the first defeat for Australia at the Gabba in 32 years. Rishabh Pant scored an unbeaten 89, while Shubman Gill scored 91 runs, and Cheteshwar Pujara's 56 run score in the second innings guided India to the memorable win. Steve Smith with 55 runs was the top scorer for Australia in their second innings. For India, Mohammad Siraj picked up his maiden 5-wicket haul. Shardul Thakur claimed 4 wickets, while debutant off-spinner Washington Sundar took the remaining 1 wicket. India chased down 328 runs in the last innings and recorded India's third highest successful chase in Test match cricket. President Ramnath Kovind congratulated the Indian cricket team for winning the Test series against Australia and said that this was a historic cricketing triumph. He said that the team showed exceptional skills and resilience and that the nation is proud of the Indian team. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also commended the Indian cricket team on their steely determination and never say die attitude. He said that the Indian team has created history and made the whole nation proud. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed joy at the success of the Indian cricket team in Australia. He congratulated the team and said that their remarkable energy and passion, grit and determination was visible throughout the series. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this newscast. But before we leave, Rajya Sabha TV would like to make an appeal to all its viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Remember to wear a face mask, wash your hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. These simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic.